everyone, welcome to Chef Shelley's Kitchen. Today we have a real treat. Now I'll admit that I've not been a great fan of shrimp and grits. However, I was inspired after going over to my girlfriend's Tracy's house, and she made us this great shrimp and grits meal, and I thought I've got to figure out how to make that dish. So after really kind of trolling, I'll say, the internet and looking at several recipes, I've actually come up with my own. But again, I want to thank Tracy for my inspiration, because otherwise I would not have tried to make a shrimp and grits casserole. She's an amazing cook. So we're going to do this in a couple of phases. We're going to make actually the shrimp mixture, and we're also going to make then the grits mixture and cheese, and then we're going to combine it. This really will be a casserole. So the first thing we're going to do, and I already have my heat started so we could get started quickly, is, and of course I'm going to put all of the measurements on the site for you. So I've got my heat really kind of on medium heat, and I'm going to be adding to it chicken broth, okay? So we're going to add the chicken broth, and I'm going to stir into that, and we're going to need to make sure it gets to a boil before we get the grits. I have cayenne pepper, black pepper, and sea salt. Now, I have a good friend, Regina, who is allergic to cayenne, so hey, just skip that. And if you don't like food that has any taste of kind of hot spicy to it, then you can take that out. As well as we're going to be adding some hot sauce, so you don't have to include that. But I will tell you that these little pieces of spices, they add just the right amount of kick to it. It's not hot, it's tasty. Okay, so I'm going to go on and mix this in like so and stir it, and we're going to get this boiling. And then what I have, and it really obviously depends upon the kind of grits you use. I prefer using instant grits. So I just have a package of, or some call them quick grits. I don't use the little packets. So I don't want you to think it instant in that way. I say that because it's going to determine how long you're going to keep it on the stove. My quick grits, I'm telling you 2 or 3 minutes once the water gets really hot is all we're going to need. If you have regular grits, you may have to have this sit for about 20 minutes. Again, kind of stirring it frequently. So it's almost there. Again, I had the heat going while I was setting up. So what I'm going to do now, just as soon as I see the little boiling coming, we're going to be adding the grits. And then after I add the grits to this, we're going to add hot sauce, whatever your favorite is. We like hot Pete's, all kinds of different. My husband is actually really the hot sauce person, and he recently got me putting hot sauce on things I had never thought about putting hot sauce on, but I'm actually enjoying it. Again, some hot sauces are not too hot, so it's bearable. My tongue will get burned if I eat too many spicy things. Okay, so this is, I'm seeing kind of the heat here. I'm going to go on and add my grits, okay? And constantly stirring, as you'll see me do, as I gradually add them. I'm going to add some more. This is such an easy dish to make, and it comes out so delicious, so creamy, just really, really nice. A number of recipes that I saw online had, you know, a different twist on this. I actually saw some that boiled the grits in water. I saw some that boiled the grits in skim milk or low-fat milk. But I thought for the taste, I was going to use the chicken broth, and it does turn out fantastic. One thing I will tell you is that I'm using the low sodium because chicken broth can come with high sodium. So if you're watching your salt intake, that's something that you definitely want to pay attention to, okay? So just, you know, be careful with that. All right, so we've got the, I'm gonna have to let this sit a little bit. And what's gonna happen, because I do need it to boil some more on its own so it can thicken up, is that I don't want it to be too thick, but I do want it a nice little texture. You need it to have some texture still, and I'm gonna go and put the lid on it because you're gonna need some of that juice to mix everything else together. Because once we cook the shrimp, it's really not going to be any juice there to bring it all together. So I'm just going to kind of let this boil a little bit so it can thicken up. And then we're going to add the hot sauce and we're going to add the cheese, okay? So just keep an eye on it. And I don't know if you just saw that trick that I just did with my lid. Sometimes people take their lid off. My dad showed me this, is that when you put your lid, when you're lifting up a lid, always lift it that way so then the heat goes out, doesn't get in your face. That's important. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Again, it's not thick yet. It's just kind of like a creamy. And let me get this. It's going to try to, you can kind of see it creaming up there. I can't turn it too much because I don't want it to spill over. All right, so to that, we're going to go in and add the hot sauce. And I'm actually going to turn down my heat some because I see it's popping. I don't want this popping in my face. Got the hot sauce. Now, what I'm going to do is I have 2 cups of cheese here. I'm not going to put the full amount here. I'm actually going to put just about half of the cup, about a cup, okay? And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put that in there. Everything's clean. Okay. All right. This looks really, really creamy, delicious, yellow. Okay. You can kind of see that nice mixture there. Okay. All right. So we're going to take this and I'm going to put it aside. Let's move some things here. And now we're going to switch over and we're going to put our pan here. I'm going to put my lid on top of the grits. And then to this, I'm going to now add some olive oil to the base of the pan. I'm going to add garlic, minced garlic. Okay. And I'm also, with this mixture, I'm going to add, this is actually half of an onion that I chopped in my Vitamix. I had a friend ask me the other day about chopping things like onions in my Vitamix when at the same time I also make smoothies in the morning, and does it carry over the taste? Believe it or not, it doesn't carry over the taste at all. So another feature to the Vitamix. As you can see, I'm a big Vitamix person. All right, I'm also going to add some chopped bell pepper. Now, you're going to be having tomatoes in this, so I suggest using, you can use a green bell pepper, you can use a yellow, I would use a yellow or an orange, okay? Just, it adds the extra color, but since you have the cheese, then you can add green, whatever you want. Just add some variety of color. It always makes a dish look delicious, okay? We're going to cook this like so, stirring it, as you can see. And then what I'm going to do, once I get this kind of cooked, then I'm going to stir in my shrimp. So let's kind of get those ready. So I've got my shrimp. I'm going to toss this around some more, get this out of the way, and get ready for the second deal going on here. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this up nicely, like so. Again, you see how quick you can make this dish and be just this sensational cook. And I want some comments. I have to tell you, most of my comments I get now from my YouTube friends. So Facebook, I don't know what's going on. Now I've actually added a little more than 2 cups of shrimp. You're going to add what works for you. Okay, you could add, and typically, you know, this is like a bag of medium. This is a bag of medium shrimp. They were not cooked, but it still had the tails on them. And again, they're uncooked. And, you know, that comes out to about 1.5 cups. So if you want a little bit more, this is the equivalent of 2 of those bags, which I think it says it's maybe 40 shrimps or so. So if you're going to use the larger shrimps, then you're obviously not going to need as many. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause here so that I can give this some time to cook. I'm going to come back once it's nice and pink so you can see, and then we're going to start combining. Okay. Okay. So this is just about cooked. I'm going to show you how it looks. Okay. Hope you have a good look there. Now what I'm going to add to that is I have some garlic powder that I'm going to sprinkle on here. And then I'm also going to add, this is Rotel. A few people ask me, what's the Rotel? This is some good stuff. And it's diced tomato and green chili. So again, this is what's going to add that extra color, that extra dimension to it. That's why I said if you want to use some bell peppers, use a different color, you know, use a green, use a yellow, use an orange, because you're already going to have your tomatoes. Okay. So this is looking really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of let this do its thing a little bit here. Okay. Now one thing I do want to caution you on when you're cooking your shrimp, you know, of course you've washed it. Be careful not to get too much, you know, rinse it, dry it out really well. So like if you're transferring it in here, if after you rinse it, you've collected some water, make sure you get that out and you don't pour it in here. Else you're going to make this kind of soupy, and you already have your liquid going on with your grits, okay? So we want to be careful with that. All right, so this is looking delicious. I'm going to hold it up again. And then I'm going to start layering. I'm going to layer between the shrimp mixture and then the grits and cheese, and then top it off with some cheese. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take my lid off here so I can get all these things ready for me. And you'll notice the shrimp, the grits has stiffened up a little bit, but you still have some liquid there. Okay. So let me go on. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to take half of this mixture and I'm going to put it on the bottom of my pan. Now one thing that I've actually already done is I sprayed this with some pan spray, cooking spray, whatever it is you want to use. And again, I'm going to take half of this like so, and I'm going to put this on the bottom, spread it kind of evenly. All right. And make sure you also drain your tomatoes, because it looks like I have a little bit of liquid there. Now I'm going to take half of the grits and I'm going to pour it on top. Okay, like so. Spread that a little bit. Then lastly, we're going to take our remaining shrimp. Okay, I'm going to put this on top. Oops, drop the bell pepper. I had someone ask me, we had the pleasure of going on vacation just recently, and someone was asking me, well, how many tapes of your show do you do before you get it right? And I said, well, usually just one, so you guys get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think there was even an episode where I sneezed, so not on the food though. Okay, lastly, we're going to put this last bit of grits on top. I'm going to kind of spread it evenly like so. I'm telling you, this is so delicious. You're going to love it. You're going to just love it. Okay. All right. Kind of spread it nice and evenly. And then the way we end this, and we top this off, let's get this out of the way, is with cheese. So I still have a cup of cheese. If you use one of those 8-ounce bags of cheese, you're just going to split half of it in with the grits and the other half on top. Okay? So you're just going to kind of spread your cheese like so. And just nice, 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 nice. I'm going to show you how this looks. I don't think it's going to be too hot. And you can add more cheese. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more cheese. But let me let you see how this looks as is. I'm going to add a little bit more cheese to it because we like it nice and cheesy. And then we're going to put it in the oven. We're going to put it in the oven for at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, okay? So I'll come back. Once it comes out of the oven, you can take a look at it. We're going to try it out. It's going to be bon appetit. All right, be back shortly. Okay, everybody, deliciousness is out of the oven. So again, it was in the oven on temperature 350 for 30 minutes. And then what's important, as I said before, is that you have to let it sit a little bit, okay? So about 10 minutes. But I want to I'm going to lift it up and try to at least let you see it. There's a picture out there. And then we're going to take a sample of it. So let's see. I hope you can see it pretty well there. Hopefully that'll do it. Okay, there's a picture. We'll take a picture nonetheless. All right, so let's take a nice little sample of it. You can see it's nice and gooey, which is what you want. And what I did basically was let the cheese melt on the top. And here we go. I'm going to have some of this. It's still very hot, even though it's been sitting for 10 minutes. So let's take a little taste. Once again, so delicious. Well, enjoy. I know my sister Karen is going to make this, and I hope many others of you will enjoy it as much as I'm going to enjoy it right now. Take care. Bye-bye.